There's no easy way out.
Some people think, well, I don't have a brand, I just have a business. Well, you do have a brand, and your brand does mean something to your customers. You know, I say a brand is a combination of who you think you are and what your customers know you are. And hopefully who you think you are and what your customers think you are match. Hey everybody, welcome back to Season 6 of the No Easy Way Out podcast. My name is Tony Nash, and we are coming to you, as always, from the Woodworth Building in beautiful downtown Owasso, home to my company, AZ Branding Solutions, where we help grow your brand from A to Z. We are a one-stop branding solution, and when you partner with us, we're going to give you access to our team. We have a full team of creative branding experts who are really going to try to help you connect your brand to your buyer, your brand to your buyer. So we are super excited. This is Season 6. We have a new format this year. We have some really cool topics we want to bring to you, and we're excited about that. And so today I am with the one and only Mr. Owasso, a.k.a. DJ Chewy, a.k.a. the Sales and Marketing Director of AZ Branding Solutions, the one and only Casey Lambert. Casey, welcome, bro.
Tony, so excited to be kicking off Season 6 with you. This is actually my first No Easy Way Out podcast as an employee.
Yes, it is.
But my third overall. And dude, I'm so stoked for being able to bring your podcast, No Easy Way Out, into what we do at AZ and really give the 360 holistic approach of educating all of the viewers out there and all of our audience about the important topics in branding and marketing, and sort of bridging a lot of today's current topics and techniques into reaching the audience.
Well, let's get into what we're going to talk about today. So we are going to talk about the fight that has taken the world by storm. Everybody's talking about it at every water cooler. Every armchair quarterback is discussing it, giving their predictions.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to get in today to the fight, which is Jake Paul versus Iron Mike Tyson. I mean, we are 80s kids. Can you believe that Mike Tyson is going to fight? He's going to get in the ring, man.
If you would have told young me that Mike Tyson would bite somebody's ear off and then fight an internet celebrity.
Yeah, I mean,
decades apart from each other.
Yes.
I would have, I don't know, man.
Dude, I'm so pumped about it. I mean, the sports fan in me, the 80s, 90s kid in me is pumped. Love Iron Mike Tyson back in the day. Obviously, he has not been the same fighter since he got out of prison. But just to see him get back in the ring, it'd be like if someone said Michael Jordan's going to come and play a basketball game. I mean,
for the Washington Wizards?
Yeah, you have to watch that, right? So I'm super pumped about it. So we're going to talk all about the fight. Yeah. We're going to talk about the global brands and all the things that are happening in the world of branding to make this fight happen with the Paul brothers, with Iron Mike Tyson's brand, with Netflix, all the things. But really what I want to focus on is the power of social media.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here you have two brothers who became globally famous, global icons, really, through social media.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we deal with a lot of people and their social media, and it's amazing to me how many businesses still aren't utilizing social media or are barely utilizing social media. And man, if it's done well and it's done right, it is a powerful tool. It's so powerful that it took a YouTube star and made him so famous and had so many eyes on him that it was able to convince who some might say is the greatest fighter of all time, Iron Mike Tyson, to come out of retirement and get in the ring at 57 years old. That is power, man.
Well, it's amazing. And it's something that we talk to our clients about and our partners about all the time. Social media is great, but how you use it is even more important.
Yeah.
So when you look at somebody like Logan Paul and Jake Paul, and I know we're going to get really into the weeds here, but there's somebody who they're not just posting on social media.
Right.
They're not just hoping that people happen upon their brand. And yes, they are their brand. It's called personal branding, and they are very heavy into it. But there's somebody that takes the character and they take their persona, and that is really what they showcase out there. And when we talk to brands, Tony, that's what we're really trying to convey. You have to showcase your brand to the 12th degree.
Tell your story.
You got to hulk it up, and they are so good at it.
And they are not afraid to tell their story, to give you an inside look of who they are, what they're about. And you either love them or you hate them. There's really no middle ground with them. I think they have more haters. Yeah. I mean, there are people that love them, but they have more haters. But they've realized we get eyes on us, whether it's people liking us or hate us, those eyes equal dollars, those eyes equal business, those eyes equal sales. Now they have not just their YouTube and they started with YouTube and Vine.
Mhm.
They don't just have their social media presence, but now, I mean, obviously they're podcasting. They have Prime Energy. They have Celsius energy drinks now. Logan Paul he got a world famous fighter to get in the ring with him, and Floyd Mayweather. Some say he's the greatest of all time.
And he's carrying the U.S. championship for the WWE right now.
And now, yeah, he's in the WWE. He's going to have Prime Energy is going to be the first ever center ring sponsor for the WWE. I mean, it's crazy what started as some Vine videos and some YouTube videos has turned into this. And so are we saying that if you start posting on social media, you're going to become a global icon? Well, maybe. You never know. But beyond that, what social media can do for your brand, to tell your story, to give customers or clients or people that would buy from you an inside look into what you do and what you're about and your culture and why they should choose you and where they can find you and all the things that they need to know. Social media is a wide open door that gives you the access. And if you're a business owner and you're not using social media, or as I said earlier, if you're barely using social media,
or even not using it right,
you got to get on the train, man. I know it's work. I know it's hard. I know it takes time, but you got to get on board. You got to get on board.
And it really, it goes down to this, Tony. And I will say this because at the time of this filming, I'm filming a takeover for our Instagram and Facebook. But it really, like, if you think about where the Paul brothers really started to take off, all right, they were very like wannabe Mr. Beast in the beginning. They wanted to be YouTube creators, and they were doing what a lot of people do. They're throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that. And it was something that was more unfortunate and something that was more accidental that really skyrocketed into the top.
Yeah.
And if
they
you
doubled down on it.
Exactly. The doubling down on what got you there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you're watching this and you're of the age of us, you remember exactly what it was. I don't want to go into too much detail because it's a very sensitive topic, but it had to do with the forest in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And it got them what we call in the professional wrestling world. I'm a professional wrestler. And what it got in the professional wrestling world is we call it heat, right? A heel is a bad guy, and heat is the hate that gets thrown at the bad guy. In the pro wrestling world, which again, we mentioned Logan Paul is not only in, but excelling at.
Right.
A heel needs to play to the heat. A heel needs to play to the hate from the people that are giving it to them. Sure. And boy, Logan and Jake Paul are, I will say, arguably the best in the world right now at that.
Well, you have to own who you are, be comfortable with who you are. And so when we talk about, your brand and your personal brand, some of you would like to separate your brand from who you are. And that's all right. That can work as well. Some people are fine just associating with your brand itself. Some of you are trying to intermingle your personal brand with your business. And that's okay too. That can work very well. But it depends on how much of you're willing to allow people to see. Mm-hmm. And what the Paul brothers have realized is that, again, some people love us, some people hate us, but they're comfortable with who they are. And so they just are as authentic as they know how to be. Some find it annoying, obnoxious, but they're okay with that. And whatever it is, people are watching, people are looking. And so you have to understand that when you put yourself out there, there's going to be haters. There's going to be people that don't like you, don't like how you sound, don't like how you look, don't like your services, your products, and they're going to talk about it. But that's all right. Your stuff isn't for them. There is an audience. If you have a good product, if you have good services, if you have a good brand, there is an audience for you. And so you got to figure out how to appeal to that. And when you find something they like that works, you got to double down on that and be comfortable with it. But I want to talk really, Casey, about the impact they've had on the sport of boxing.
Oh, yeah.
You see, I have my Italian Stallion shirt on today.
Yeah, Tony, if you guys don't know, is a former Gold Glover.
Yes, I am. A couple years, in the Shiawassee Boxing Club. Had a few good moments, but, a short-lived career. But I was a huge Rocky fan growing up. And if you remember the movie Rocky, it was where the world champ gave an unknown fighter an opportunity at the belt. Mm-hmm. And essentially, that's kind of what Floyd Mayweather did. He gave a fighter who had almost no professional fights an opportunity, and it was not a real belt, but it was something. And now Tyson, who doesn't have a belt, but certainly has clout He's a legend, right? Some would say greatest of all time. He's giving this kind of guy who's at 8 fights, 7 knockouts, or 6 knockouts, I think, 1 loss. Has proved himself to be a formidable fighter. He's no slouch, but only 8 fights. He's only been boxing for a couple years. He's going to go up against Tyson. So some people say they're ruining boxing. They're ruining the purity of the sport. But I say, really, since Tyson got out, maybe Holyfield, what fighter has drawn the attention to boxing, heavyweight fighting that there was in the 90s? I mean, you have Canelo and you have some of these, you had Mayweather, who's not a heavyweight. You had some of these other great fighters, but who has really garnered the attention or brought so many people to boxing since Tyson?
That's the answer is nobody. And
Yeah.
I think if you're a boxing fan or if you're a sports fan or a sports entertainment fan in general, you cannot look me in the eye and tell me that anybody has done more for boxing. And really, Tony, it's the funny thing is this model has been done before.
Yeah.
And I saw in the show notes when I was reading them last night, you mentioned sports entertainment. In order for a sport to survive in today's landscape, it has to be entertainment based. And if you are a sports entertainment fan at all, you know this story arc already.
Yeah.
It was done by Randy Orton of the WWE in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
He went by the term legend killer. And that is exactly what Jake Paul is doing right now. He is going across legends of the sport and fighting them.
Well, and like I said, does that say 11 minutes we've been going, or we have 11 minutes left? All right. Our guy behind us showing us our time, so we stay on task here because, we like to talk.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, absolutely. To me, maybe if you're a purist and you think this is a sideshow, I've seen people say this is a sideshow, it's a money grab, it's all these things. And my response is yes, it is. But they are bringing eyes to the sport that you love, whereas those eyes haven't been there for a long time. And so what the boxing world should do is embrace it, figure out how to capitalize on it, and use the same strategy. Maybe the boxing world needs to be promoting their fighters more like the WWE does, or more like the Paul brothers are doing, to draw attention, because it's not even the individual technique of the fighter that somebody gets drawn to. It's the personality. Muhammad Ali, fly like a butterfly, spoke like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I'm the greatest. They fell in love with his antics, his personality. Same thing with Tyson. Now, they were killers in the ring, so that helps, but they're still killers, but they don't have that profile. And so I think sports like what is the boxing, WBA or whatever, World Boxing Association, they need to take note and say, hey, we haven't been getting the eyes, the attention. We haven't been getting the big pay-per-view numbers like we used to. We should take note. I mean, the power of social media can really help them in that world.
Well, and I say this to say, obviously, I'm a big sports entertainment fan. And I was giving a talk to some high schoolers recently about, achievement through life. And one of the things I talked about was injecting entertainment into everything. Everything that you do, and this goes for all businesses, and obviously being a branding firm, it's important for us to reach the audience of our customers, but also to captivate them and keep them. And you do that exactly like you said, Tony, developing characters. We know Ali was a big character. We know Tyson was a big character. We know the Paul
Sugar Ray
brothers.
Leonard. Yeah, I mean, all those guys.
Yeah, even if you look at modern day boxing, Tyson Fury, who famously took a WWE bout in Saudi Arabia, who is the Gypsy King. Deontay Wilder, who fought him, came out in 80 pounds of light up gear. Like, it's not for lack of trying on some of these people's parts, but you're exactly right when you say, is it being promoted on the proper platforms? Right? You talked about pay-per-views, right? Yeah. This fight is being broadcast on Netflix.
On Netflix. We're going to talk about that as well.
Right? But if you put it in some place where it's inaccessible to a lot of people, then you're not going to get the attention and the eyes that you need to. And that goes the same for social media, right? You mentioned earlier Vine, right? The Paul brothers started off on Vine. Well, Vine went under.
Yeah.
Why did Vine go under? They couldn't reach their proper audience, right? So a platform is hugely important. And I'm not going to steal the thunder about when we talk about the Netflix deal, but look at where these pay-per-views are offered.
I mean, we can get right into it right now. I mean, talk about brand. I mean, Netflix started off as a take
mail
a disc,
in DVDs.
mail in DVDs, right? And you
Yep.
could have it for 2 days or 3 days or 5 days. There was different subscription levels,
Mhm.
and then you had to send it back. And as long as you had that, you couldn't get any more. And then it turned into, well, they didn't do the kiosk. That was the Red Box, right? The Red Box is still
Yeah,
trying to
Netflix never had
survive.
kiosks.
But then they went right into this streaming thing, and they were the first really to do this kind of full-on streaming, and they have changed the game.
Mhm.
Cable companies, satellite dish companies, they're scrambling to try to keep up with the world of streaming because Netflix has changed the game. They found out what people liked, and they doubled down on it. And
That's called content marketing, by the way.
yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so you have these brands, the Paul brothers, Tyson. You have their brands that they've created, the Celsius, the
Prime.
but now the brand of Netflix, and these three are converging to AT&T Stadium in Dallas, the largest football
Which
stadium
is a brand in itself.
in all of itself. And people are saying there's no way they're going to sell out that arena. I think it seats 80,000 people.
Upwards,
And,
buddy. That's about
yeah.
101,000 by
Yeah.
the time that fight comes around.
Yeah, so I think, my opinion is it's going to sell out, no
Mhm.
problem. Especially, obviously broadcasting on Netflix. I don't remember the number of how many homes have Netflix and how many people are going to see that. But it's going to be incredible. Let's talk about Mike Tyson.
Yes.
Okay, so Iron Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Childhood hero. right
Again,
here.
yeah, again, the 80s, 90s kid in me is like, I can't believe I'm going to see Tyson. I know he fought Roy Jones Jr.
Mhm.
a couple years ago, but that was really more of like a soft exhibition.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like either of them were going full in. But, Tyson, the question is, at 57 years old, does he still got it? Can he, now he'll be 58 by the time the fight rolls around. Can he, at 58 years old, keep up with Jake Paul? Have you seen these videos of him training?
I've seen a couple, but I haven't seen any really recent.
Mike, do you have the video of Tyson training
Yeah.
right now? Let's pull
watch
that up
it.
here. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh
So, dude,
man,
look at the
his
power.
legs. And the thing is, Mike Tyson obviously was always known for his power, but as somebody who trains pretty frequently myself for athletics, what I'm really seeing is his legs, and obviously you being a boxer, Tony, you understand how much power comes from your legs
100%.
and how
All
important
comes
that
from your
is
legs. And the
in
torque, you could twist your body. And, listen, I mean, the form is impeccable, obviously, but look how much he's pushing back the trainer. And the speed.
Oh, yeah.
Speed at which he's throwing those
he's always
punches.
been known for his
So
speed.
I don't care how old you are, that's going to hurt.
Mhm.
Now, I did see another video of Tyson talking about that training. And
Mhm.
he's like, and this was probably a year or two ago, he's like, what people don't realize is that was about 40 seconds. He goes, I can do that for about 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
And then I'm sore for a week. So, but he's been training with this, I can't remember the name of the trainer, in Saudi Arabia. And people are saying, like, he's in shape, man. So I got to think, George Foreman came back after how many years? He was in his
Mhm.
late 40s and got the belt. A fighter's always got a punch.
Mhm.
It only takes one good one. I think he
As
lands
Logan
one.
Paul would say, one lucky punch.
He lands one of those babies on the jaw of Jake Paul. He's done for. I don't think Jake Paul's ever felt anything like that. I could be wrong. I mean, when you watch that, you're like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. But I don't know. What do you think? You think Tyson at 57, 58 years old, does he have a chance?
Look, he's going to look good. But here's the thing that we can't fail to remember. Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah.
Like, we could talk all we want about him being a YouTube sensation, him being,
Well, watch him
a
train.
hated product.
He's legit.
You can watch his training, you can watch his actual matches. Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, has he really ever gone toe to toe with somebody the likes of Mike Tyson? And although he's going to be a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, he's still Mike Tyson.
He's still Iron Mike.
And as we watch athletics more and more these days, with modern day advances in technology, I could live to be 200.
yeah.
But in all seriousness, we're seeing athletes much longer in the tooth still able to compete. I mean, Tom Brady was what, 45?
45, 44.
Diamond Dallas Page is out there wrestling at age 63.
LeBron James is almost 40. He's still dominating in the NBA.
So is he going to be the same Mike Tyson
No.
that fought Evander Holyfield twice, that had an amazing career? No. But is he going to be somebody who steps into the ring and gives a much younger opponent the run?
Well, here's the
for his
question.
money?
Here's the question. Is there anybody in the world besides Logan Paul or maybe his mom and dad that is rooting for Jake Paul to win. I think everybody wants Tyson to win this fight. I mean,
well, that's the character, man.
yeah, that's what I mean. What a story that would be.
You are supposed
Now,
to hate Jake Paul.
there are those who would say that it's all scripted. There's no way that Jake Paul's going to throw a full punch on a 58-year-old man. There's no way Tyson's going to be able to last. And I don't know. I like to think. I mean, I understand there's money involved, so I'm sure there's some things scripted in the contract. But I like to think that they're going to have a couple rounds where they're really fighting each other, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I mean, Tyson, again, growing up, incredible rise to fame, unbelievable punching power. As a fan of boxing, as a fan of Rocky, as a guy who boxed himself, just to see how quickly he could knock guys out and the ferocity at which he could throw a punch. And then when he had the scandal, he went to prison, when he came out, he just was never the same fighter. Obviously, we know he got back in the ring. He bit Evander Holyfield's ear. That whole thing happened.
I still remember watching that live from my
I
neighbor.
watched it live as well.
From my neighbor Rick's house.
And I remember him saying, like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry." He said, "I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. I just don't have the fire anymore. I just don't have the intensity." But then recently, in the last year or so, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't know if you saw it, and he was talking about why he stopped training, because when he gets into full training mode, it like unleashes his ego, and he has this animal that takes over in him, and he doesn't do it because he doesn't want that. And he said when he started training again, it like reawakened that killer in him that made him such a beast in the ring. And so you wonder, like, if he's been training, is there, you watch, what was it, Rocky Balboa, the Rocky 6 or 7 or whatever, where he's like, I still got some stuff up in the attic. I still got some stuff I got to get out. Is that what this is about? Or is this just Tyson trying to, get some cash?
Well, for a second, let's suspend disbelief. Another wrestling term, but let's suspend disbelief and say this is a true fight. There's no money involved. It's two men just going in there to beat out who's in the best, right? Who's the best? In that case, I give the edge to Mike Tyson for that sole reason of he is an absolute animal.
Right.
And he's always led with that.
And he's been in the ring a lot more times.
You look at Floyd Mayweather, who fought Logan Paul in that fight went the distance without a winner.
Yeah.
Number one, Floyd Mayweather is not a knockout artist, and we know that.
Yes.
But
he doesn't have a knockout
Floyd
punch.
Mayweather is also money motivated.
Yeah. Money
right?
Mayweather.
Yeah.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
Mike Tyson was never money motivated. He wanted to be the best, and he wanted to, as you said, I got some of my stuff in my head that I got to knock out. Jake Paul, on the other hand, very money motivated, very spotlight motivated. Mano y mano, suspended disbelief. Mike Tyson beats the ever-living crap out of Jake Paul.
Well, Tyson had some famous quotes back in the days. I remember he goes, "I just want to go somewhere and drift off to Bolivian." Like some of these like famous things that he would say.
He was a character, not
dude.
on purpose.
And then you see him fight and you hear his voice, and you're like, that's not the same person. He just seemed like a different guy. And then, of course, we all played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
surprised Jake Paul didn't have to go through all of the other characters.
My buddy still has the code to just skip right to Mike Tyson. He's like, I will forget my name. I will be in an old folks home. Shout out to Pat O'Day. If you were here, you would quote the code for me right now. Quote the code. But he says, I will forget my own name before I forget this code. He just has it memorized in his mind.
So
but I know I never
kind of like me in the Mortal Kombat blood code, ABACABB. Like it's just
I could never get past 30 seconds with Tyson. I just in that game. But what a fun game. But see, there you go back to like building that brand around him. Still one of the most iconic Nintendo games.
Dude, it's nostalgia though, and that's what Tony. That's part of the attraction for people of your and I's generation. There's nostalgia in watching Mike Tyson lace him up one more time in front of 101,000 people at the largest sports spectacle.
Dude, I'm pumped.
On a network that's accessible to everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
And this is not manufactured excitement. I'm stoked for this.
Dude, I'm so pumped.
Because 10-year-old Casey sitting in the living room in Mr. Rick's house, waiting until 11:30 at night to watch Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield duke it out for the second time is coming back out.
Yeah.
And it's like you got goosebumps, man.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
No, I'm telling you, man, it is.
Let's go.
I am, as a sports fan, as a boxing fan, of all the things, I'm super pumped. I know there's going to be some theater. There's going to be some, there's some unique rules that they're throwing in there. It's going to be a circus, but either way, I'm super pumped to see what's what's going to happen. So let's talk before we end this thing up, wrap it up with a bow. Let's give
Yeah.
our predictions.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to say Tyson's going to train hard. He's going to take it seriously. When I saw the head-to-head of Jake and Tyson, where they were making their promo, Jake looks scared out of his mind. He's made all kinds of videos saying, why would, everyone's asking him why he would do this. And, obviously he sees money signs.
I was going to say, it's
but
right here,
but
guy.
you could tell he's like realizing, dude, that's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And that guy's a killer. So I'm going to say if the fight is legit and they let it go and they let it be a real fight, I'm going to say Mike Tyson in under 5 rounds. If it goes past 5, I don't think he stands a chance.
Yeah. You know what? I'm with you there, Tony, but I'm going to say 3 rounds.
3 rounds.
So,
yeah.
again, suspended disbelief because there could be a script involved. Like, we get it.
Sure.
But suspended disbelief, Mike Tyson won't let that fight go 3 rounds because at 58 years old, he understands the wear and tear.
Yeah. He's got to have that knockout power.
He will go savage.
Well, and
mode.
that's what you wonder, when you saw the Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, and when you saw the Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight, and when you saw the Tyson versus Roy Jones, it felt scripted. It felt like no one's throwing the hard punch. No one's really going for the knockout. It was just kind of, we'll take a few, you take a few, I'll take a few. It was more of a dance, and it was for money. And I hope that they, as fans, I hope they let us see some real fighting. Yeah. I hope that they do, and if they do, I give the edge to
Well,
Tyson.
it's in one more thing before we get to the exciting part of the segment.
Okay.
I'm super pumped for. But look at it this way: Jake Paul has already won. He's in the ring with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
He's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, he's won.
He won the day.
He's won. He doesn't care if he loses.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why I think you'll get no script on this one. And Jake's going to say, let's go blow for blow.
Let's go do it.
But Mike Tyson is treating this as a 3-round fight, and it will not go fast.
So, in summary, social media is powerful, guys.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not using social media for your brand, it's time to get on the board. It's time to get on the train. It's time to get on board.
Trying to get in the
ring. If
ring.
you need help, as always, we are here at AZ Branding Solutions. We have a team that will help you with it. We offer all kinds of social media training. We have all types of tools and resources to help you win in the world of social media. We can help you create content, social media calendaring, all the things that need to happen. But get on board. It's time to start doing it. You are losing opportunity. You're leaving money on the table because you're not unleashing the power of social media in your brand. So get on board. So before we sign off completely, though, we have decided that we are going to rank our top 5 boxers, in our opinion, top 5 boxers of all time. Now, I'm a big Rocky fan. I thought about just ranking the top 5 Rocky fighters of all time, which would be number 5, Spider Rico, number 4, Apollo Creed, number 3, Clubber Lang, number 2, Ivan Drago, and of course, number 1, the Italian
That
stallion,
tracks. That's a good
Rocky
ranking.
Balboa. That's a good shot. But I decided that for the most part, I would go with real fighters.
Okay.
Casey, you got your list?
I do. Do you want to go first, or do you want me
We'll
to?
go back and forth. So let's start with number 5.
Okay. Well, can I say some honorable mentions first?
Sure, give me some honorable mentions.
And I brought my handy-dandy notepad. So I have 4 honorable mentions because
this is really your
it's
top 10
so
list.
debated,
Yes.
really. So, first off, honorable mention, Muhammad Ali. And I don't have him in my top 5.
Oh, wow.
But Firebrand, the reason he's not in the top 5 is because his strategy was, let me get my head beat until I am brain dead.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Henry Armstrong, 110 or 101 knockouts.
Wow.
Not to be messed with. There's only a few people on that list. Eric Esch, Butterbean,
Okay. Oh, yeah. I remember Butterbean.
77-10 total record in boxing, 97-24 in total fighting. But the biggest thing is he came from tough, man. He came from nowhere.
Yeah.
And then my last one, honorable mention wise, gold glove guy, gave it up way too soon. Tony Nash.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta make the honorable mention.
Yep.
I did hang up the gloves too soon. All right. So let's hear your number 5. Number 5, greatest of all time in the world of Casey Lambert. Who is number 5?
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. I almost put him in my top 5.
Yep. The reason why, I'm not going to record whatever, 62-8, 8 different titles in 8 different weight classes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
My number 5, we're gonna go fictional. I had to go the Italian stallion. Rocky Balboa, number 5 for me. All right, let's hear your number 4.
Big impact.
He took out Ivan Drago. I mean, come on. That's impressive. And it wasn't scripted at all.
Number 4, for obviously great boxer, 68-3 with 54 knockouts, but the name of my favorite childhood arena, Joe Louis.
Yeah, I also had Joe Louis is one of my honorable mentions, but number 4, not only because he was a great fighter, but this guy knew how to build a brand after retirement. Big George Foreman, 76-5, the oldest person to come back and hold a heavyweight title,
Yes,
and then
sir.
of course the George Foreman grill, the
Knock out the
cheapest,
fat.
most garbage grill ever,
Knock out the fat.
sold millions of dollars worth.
Hey, you know what?
Branding
The
genius.
The George Foreman grill got me through my 20s.
There you go.
All
It's the branding genius, and Michael Scott burned his foot on it. So
right, all right, we got number 3 then.
number 3,
Number 3, this is going to throw you for a loop because I bet you probably have this guy ranked higher, but Rocky Marciano.
I didn't put him in my top 5.
49-0, but the most important thing, undersized heavyweight and the shortest reach ever for a heavyweight champion.
Rocky Marciano was my real number 5, but I had to replace him with Rocky
yeah,
Balboa.
Rocky.
But it's my movie.
Yep.
It's my movie. All right, my number 3, 50-0, undefeated, no knockout power, but a great fighter, great brand. Floyd Money Mayweather, TMT baby, the money team.
You're gonna love this then.
Number 2,
Floyd Mayweather for me.
all right.
I initially had him at my number 1, and here's why: 50-0, and as you said, no knockout power. But out of any boxer in the history of the sport, he plays the sport the best out of anyone.
Yeah,
He scores points,
yeah,
and he avoids points getting scored against him.
yep,
As a sport boxer, probably number 1
yeah. Number 2.
for you.
Oh, my number 2. That's right. My number 2, Iron Mike Tyson, baby. Knockout power. I know he doesn't have the record. I know his career got ended in his prime. But, man, had he, not gone to prison, I think it would be undisputable, undeniable. But, man, I just think what an incredible fighter in his day.
Yeah, and that's the thing you mentioned. Could have.
Yeah.
Could have. So
There was
Now
very
that-
few lists I found that put Mike Tyson even in the top 10. But he's
yeah,
my number
and
2.
you'll notice he's not even in my top 5 or honorable mention.
Yeah.
So number 1s, right? Number
Let's
1s.
hear it. Number 1 fighter of all time. Drum roll, please.
So for Casey, the number 1 fighter of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson. Over 200 fights.
That's insane.
Over 200 fights, 175 wins, and 109 knockouts.
Yeah.
The length of the career, the fact that he retired and came back and was just as great, the fact that he had that much knockout power. When you go total package, best fighter, longest career, it's Sugar Ray Robinson, and there's not even a question about it.
Well, I'm going to go number 1 with a very conventional choice. It was in your honorable mentions.
Come on.
I am the greatest.
Come on.
Self-proclaimed.
Come on.
Float like a butterfly, sing
Sting
like a bee. Muhammad Ali, baby. I mean, I've only seen highlights. You grow up and you only see highlights. Obviously, I did my research, and a lot of the guys you came up with, I had a hard time looking at stats. But, man, I looked at these also as, like, not just who was a great fighter, but who had the mass global appeal, knew how to build a brand, and still is a global brand to this day, Muhammad Ali. And so that's my 5. So thanks for doing that, man. I think that was fun.
Yeah, was super
Let us
exciting.
know in the comments who you think your top 5 or just your top boxer of all time. We'd love to see that. Maybe we'll respond to that on a newer episode. But we're going to hang it up. We're looking forward. July 20th, AT&T Stadium, Netflix. We are definitely going to be watching, and I'm excited to see the fight.
I'm excited. We'll be together all day that day.
Oh, that's Micah's wedding.
Yeah, Micah's
you
getting
getting married
married
on
on
the 20th?
July 20th.
Dude, you
and
better-
then we're going to watch the
You
fight.
better end that thing before the fight. I forgot. That's how excited I was. I completely forgot it was my son's wedding, July 20th. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to end that thing before the fight, or else
Yes,
we'll
sir.
have it playing there.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Well, thanks, man, for coming and joining me on this show.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Remember, if you're not utilizing social media, it is a powerful tool. It's time to get on board. And remember this, as my mother always said, you can't and never could until you tried. So go out there and try something great, my friends, and don't take the easy way out. We'll see you next time.
There's no easy way out.